And I think that by default, you neglect little boys, right? Because you're like, he's going to grow up and be a man one day. He can handle it. Men handle it. I just tell him to man up a couple times. And we're starting to see a lot of little boys get molested, right? By teachers, white teachers specifically, right? Now, why this isn't blasted all over the place, I do not know, but it goes under the radar. It's usually some unassuming, cute little white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes, and nobody gives an F about it, right? Everybody keeps pushing. But this is happening over and over and over again. I'm going to expound a little bit by a book of fantasies that Lily and I were introduced to by a good friend of the show. He recommended that we get that book, you know what I mean? Because we have a lot of conversations up here about fantasies and sex and relationships. And I was like, great, we'll get the book. I discovered a lot about that book that was very, very disturbing. And I'll get into that a little bit. But before I pass the mic, what do you guys think about the topic for tonight before we get into it?
We're going to walk on. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, this is the type of the stuff that I've been bringing up on my channel as well. Because a lot of times when we hear women speak, it's a difference when, especially when we talk about black boys. Black boys is in a detriment position, being raised up in a single parent, like single mothers. A lot of us come from single mother homes, and a lot of times we was raised to be soldiers instead of soulmates. That's one. And when you talk about being sexual deviant and being sexually assaulted and stuff like that, like how girls that turn into women that say that they've been primarily, molested by male family members and stuff like that, or the stepdad. That's the same thing that happened to black boys. But the difference was we educate black girls and say, if a man do this to you, if a man look at you long enough, this is called, get away from that man. He a creep. If a man touch you or don't do all this, that's, you come and report that to me. Even if the kid probably don't think nothing wrong when initially the kid probably didn't think nothing wrong with that, a man looking at him or always want to play with them, giving them candy and stuff like that. Whereas that girl had to be educated and said, okay, this is inappropriate. Now on the boys' side, a lot of times the boys wasn't taught, okay, if a woman try to seduce you in these different type of ways, just call your mama, call your daddy, go tell somebody. Did nobody teach boys that certain stuff what women was doing to boys was inappropriate? At some point, a lot of times, the boys got, when a grown woman try to get at their son and stuff like that, they be like, boy, your son gonna be having all the girlfriend. This is my little man. Girl, look at how big your son dick is, and all this other type of stuff. So we was raised from our, caregivers that as boys is okay to get an older woman. And I won't necessarily say just white women teachers, because I had sex with my middle school teacher. She was black. And in Milwaukee, there's been 3 beautiful black teachers that taught middle school that one of them got pregnant by their students. And it's been 3 women that had sex with their middle school children. Wow. I didn't mean to run on or nothing.
No, it's okay. Thank you for divulging that information. That's very private. As I can imagine. Hold on, I'm trying to figure something out here because I know.
And another thing, right, when we talk about the difference between I'm starting to be confused, what is a sexual assault? I'm not talking about rape. I'm talking about sexual. I'm trying to figure out what is sexual assault, because if I walk up to a woman, grab her breast without her permission, I thought that was sexual assault. If I walk up to a woman and grope her vagina, I thought that was sexual assault. If I walk up there and just slide my private area on her, I thought that was sexual assault. Am I right or wrong?
So, yes. All of those are right. And then I feel like more has been added over time, right? With things that request that, like, hey, this is the thing.
I was just gonna say, because when women do it to us, it's not considered as that. Women could walk up to us like, "Ooh, your chest muscles big." They grab your muscles. They rub their booty on your diggling. They grope your diggling. They comment under your clothes. All kinds of stuff, and it's not looked at as sexual assault.
Right. Right.
Okay,
So
so that
sexual
yes,
assault is kind of biased.
Hmm. So
really,
in some of these terms, right, it will be looked at as more of statutory great, right? I was the teen who was messing with older people, right? And I wanted to, right? But I was the teen. They were the adults, right? So it was
Right.
their responsibility to be like, hey, you little fast ass teen, you keep your shit to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't trying to register nowhere. I ain't trying to go to prison. That ain't my flavor, right? And so I'm saying that to say that like even if the teen was like all for like, oh, I want a younger whatever, I mean older whatever, the adult is responsible for saying, no, hell no, like I won't participate in this. Um, so there is a clear line when it comes to that because I know people have tried to argue that point, like, oh, well, she was a willing participant, but she's young or he is young, right? And so, but to answer your initial question, hands down, there is definitely a double standard when it comes to protecting boys versus protecting girls, and even myself, growing up, I was always the oldest. I always had the babysit. I always had a bunch of kids. I felt like a baby mama growing up, right? And so I was always protective of all of the children, but I noticed I was more like this when it came to the girls, right? And so when I was younger, I was like, oh, when I get older, I'd rather just have boys because they're easier. I just need to feed them and make sure I keep them alive. But as time went on, I realized like that's a really unhealthy perspective to have. My perspective started to change as I started to grow up and started to see things. And I'm like, apparently, I'm not the only one with this thought process because this thought process seems to be across the board. And I feel like we're paying for it now because a lot of people have neglected the little boys.
so I want to go back to something that Jay Prince said. I'm getting feedback. Can you guys mute your mics until you speak? It sounds a little crazy. Thank you. So I want to go back to something Jay Prince said, where he said, no one teaches little boys that it's wrong, and it's a double-edged sword, right? And women and men participate. I'm talking about adults in their lives, right? Women think it's cute, right? Like you said, like, oh, look at him. He's gonna have a big dick. Oh my God, he's so good. That goes on. And also they get championed by men, right? So it's a double-edged sword when you're a little boy and you have two adults co-signing and telling you that it's okay. The other day I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He said he was 13 years old, a 21-year-old, okay, was having sex with him. And he refused to accept that he was being molested. He refused. He was like, no, but I liked it. I said, you were molested. And he refused to accept that he was molested, right? He
I
was
was
like,
the
no,
same way.
and I'm like, no, you were molested. So when you have men that come from that angle where it's like, hey, attaboy, and what do we see in the comments, right? Regurgitated when we hear that a little boy was molested by a teacher. There's a resounding, where were those teachers when I was growing up? Lucky him, right? And we're talking about a little boy, we're talking about a child, but the men in the chat, universe forbid someone speaks against it. Oh, he got to man up, or I wish I had that teacher. So you got, what I mean? The little boy doesn't really stand a chance if the women are co-signing it and the men are co-signing it. But, if it was a girl, all hell would break loose. Going back to, and I'll land the plane here so we could pass the mic. Going back to the whole thing with Jada Pinkett and August Alsina, I was one of the very few women that said she is a predator. She is a predator, right? Now, the men said it, of course, because the men like to flip the coin on women, but I seldom saw women say she is a predator. Had that been Will Smith and had that been Willow's friend that came in all destitute and broke down and the family took this girl in and Will had sex with her, they would have nailed him to a cross. We don't talk about women being predators enough. And I'll pass the mic on that. No, Saint.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it is. There is. Listen, I mean, I don't know what they're doing other than what I do with my kids, but I don't know what the society does today, talking to their sons. But I even remember, you can even go back to like when I was 14 or 15, and we were going up to the corner store where the video games were and the pinball machines were, and there was a man there, and he was feeding us quarters. You know, as we say, he was, putting the quarter down. Oh, you want to play some more? And what did we think as 14 or 15? Oh, that once we figured out that there was something kind of deal, we didn't say he was a sexual predator. We said, oh, that dude's gay. That's what you thought, right? You thought, I mean, as a 14-year-old, nobody talks to guys about what happens if it's a male trying to come after you at a young age as well. Now, and he did get one of our friends into his apartment. As far as we know, nothing happened. But he offered to give him a massage. He smoked some weed, and he offered to give him a massage. That's what he said. That's as far as I know what happened back then. And it was a big joke because then we thought he was gay. Not the guy that was not the victim, but we thought that we were laughing at the victim, saying, "Oh, that guy was gay," and he was trying to pick up on that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, there is that whole. I try to think, like, when men say that about the young people and the teachers, I think I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like, when you're a young guy, 13, 14, 15, your hormones are raging. So so as an adult, maybe you're thinking back, oh, where was that person? But I don't think we're thinking how our minds were working because as a 13 or 14-year-old kid, I don't think we're putting ourselves in that immature 13 or 14 year. I'm guessing, I'm assuming a lot here that we're thinking as an adult, I would hope, because I mean, obviously someone at that young of age, although they might like the feeling, that doesn't mean they're mature enough to handle what comes with that. So yeah, we don't talk to our boys, and we do kind of have that double standard, because with women, everybody, I think it's universal. Like, you're trying to protect your little daughters, I mean, that's just, we've got that down. But when it comes to boys, it's just a different outlook in society on what sexuality is to a man versus a woman.
And when you said earlier, how people champion the boys for that, and that's absolutely true. But I have seen situations where a woman's daughter could get molested or some type of sexual misconduct happening, and the women would get jealous of that little girl. Where even though she know that this nigga is a creep, but she would begin to get jealous and start treating her daughters differently. Like, if she have a man in the house and her daughter's like 15, 16, filling out and stuff like that, she would begin to envy her daughter. That's how they get to start arguing. That's why a lot of times when you talk to these young girls, they always tell us how that her and her mom didn't get along when they was teenagers and all this other type of stuff, because a lot of the reasons, because she have kept men around, and the daughters, when you look at the mom and look at the daughter, you see, especially if you looking at it from a 16-year-old brain, and you see the 16-year-old girl, like, damn, in my mind, she thick and all this other type of stuff. She look good, and her mama probably done got old. She probably ain't, looking the same like she was when she was younger. So when her daughter come around here, they even got where they got this corn. I say CORN, corn videos where stepfathers is having sex with the stepdaughters. Now, granted, I guess they are legal. You got to be legal to do it, but that is a thing. And another time, when we think about these sexual assault laws, I truly believe now, granted, I'm all for, when child get great, you need the consequences, all that type of stuff. But I think they went above and beyond to weaponize stuff against men. And particularly the men who you really see get weaponized is typically black men. If a woman decided to say, okay, because I remember growing up in school, we used to grope each other. You know how you walking down the hallway in school, you have your hand out like this low. She have her hand like that low. Then y'all walk past each other and y'all grope each other. And it wasn't no problem. Now they done add so much to the sexual assault to the point where how do men supposed to even, on one birth, they say men are hunters. Men supposed to make the first step in dating. Nowadays, men is scared to even make a move. Like we don't, if you look at a woman, like you working around women, you look at a woman long enough, you're going to get looked at as creepy. A woman can use anything. So they weaponize our nature in all different type of aspects against men. Men natural, their essence, their nature has been criminalized. Opposed to women done the same thing, it get looked at as normal.
Well, I'm going to disagree with a man's nature. I think a lot of it is conditioning, right? A lot of it is conditioning. Again,
disagree with nature.
Well, here's the thing. Going back to what I said, from little boys, they are over sexualized, and they're over sexualized by men, right? They're over sexualized by men from when they're little boys. Go get her, add a boy. You're here to do this. You're here to do that. Conquer her, get that pussy, stripper, pimp life. And a boy's constantly hearing that when he's in an environment around older men. So you're already sexualizing little boys. So I don't believe that it's in a man's nature to run around and it's like, I got to get as much ass as possible. I don't believe that's in a man's nature, because we know men that are not that way. And then we know men who can't go a week or a day without getting some ass, because he thinks that's who he's supposed to be. And he thinks
that's our nature to want some ass.
Well, it's everybody's nature, though. Human beings mate. We're animals. It's like we mate. It's everybody's nature. However, women are reared. Wait a minute. Women are reared to not like and want sex, while men are reared to like and want sex. But everybody likes having sex. It's in our nature. Like I can see a man that's attractive, and I'm like, I wonder what that mouth do. Same way you could see a woman with a fat ass, and you're like, I wonder how that bounce out of the panties. So it's nature. All of us. However, we're conditioned and reared to be polar opposite.
Yeah. I would say when it comes to like a lot of boys, a lot of men who experienced this in school, it was always the girls who bust the first move. Like I remember going in class and stuff like this, and a girl, you will always hear a girl say, "You can come and sit by me," and next thing you know, you go sit by her. She pulling your arm inside of her pants. So it was always the girls who typically made the first type of step onto the boys. Because boys was conditioned, like, you got to be careful. Like, I do this with my nephews and them at an early age. Like, dog, no, don't be walking up to women. You could go to prison. So we kind of like educating our sons and nephews to like almost look at women like poison. And what I mean by poison is if you touch that, you can die. Meaning like symbolic to like you go near that woman. Women bring a lot of trouble. You go to jail, you can get accused of stuff. A lot of us men got this type of beliefs around women because of the law, all of these laws that made it beneficial. And we already know when you got something that you could benefit from, you're going to utilize it. So a lot of these women, they got a lot of these type of cards that they can use against men to manipulate a situation, to gain money, to get themselves out of trouble. They could get arrested. A woman could get arrested for this and start breaking out crime because I was great when I was doing this. This boy did this. This man did this. So we all have witnessed this type of stuff. So now us men is teaching our sons, the nephews, like, nah, stay away from them women, man. The women is nothing but trouble. That's how we raising our boys now, opposed compared to how we was raising them back then when we didn't have all of these laws.
I think that's a great thing, though. I think it's a positive thing. I think it's more positive.
That's positive.
I think it's absolutely positive because men have gotten away with a lot regarding women and sexual assault or whatever. Those cases are very hard to prove. People will have you think in a debate like, oh, women lie too. No, actually, the sexual assaults that go unreported and without convictions, it is massive in comparison to the women who actually get a conviction and whatever, because it's a very, very hard case to prove. So I prefer that men are paranoid. I always tell my male friends and the little boys I know, when in doubt, don't approach, don't say anything. When a girl likes you, she'll let you know, right? She will let you know. And men are really hard pressed to decipher social cues. Okay. When a woman says no, when a woman's kind of like no, and she gives you that smile kind of, or we walking with our headphones, men still insist or persist, right, to chase women. This is a new day. You don't have to do that anymore. We can all communicate, but men have to be more keen with social cues, right? Go ahead.
Jim, would you still see it's easy for women to want men to be paranoid, but yet we just got done admitting and acknowledging that boys have, you talking about women being underreported, men been way underreported. Mm-hmm. And so would you be satisfied if women had to live in that same paranoia where all of this, like we did a video of women saying, if you want to sex from this man and he tell you no, majority of them women say they're going to take it. They feel so entitled to get this sex from this man. So why is that okay? Because I truly believe if was ever good for the goose, is good for the gander. You can't say it's bad for men to do all the men got to walk around paranoia when it comes to our nature, because our nature says we supposed to hunt and all this other type of stuff. Man's law said that's wrong. That's not what God's law said, but a lot of people don't believe in God. But if we gonna get up here and expect men to live in being paranoid, us men can never do a live video and say, I'm just gonna take that vagina. That woman gonna get that to me. I'm entitled. Like there's video of women stating this. How come that's not on the other side where women need to be paranoid as well?
So I will say this, because for the most part, men are able to overpower women, right? So a man can say something and it's more of a sting because they have the power to overpower a woman. I was a few years ago, I was attacked and a guy tried to sexually assault me. And when I posted about it, I was shocked at the long list of women that were sharing their experiences that were similar. I was like, oh, is this common? Like, oh, that happened to me in this. And it was just like, wow, like this shouldn't be this common. Like, so it makes it like, it makes sense of why a lot of women, especially now, are just like, I'll let you know if I want to be bothered, because it's a fear that comes with it. Just walking down the street, right? It's something that a masculine male would you won't have to think about when you're putting your shoes on to walk out the door. But it's something that women think about every corner they turn, before you get out the car, before you get into a car, you're looking in the back seat. Like it's something that if you don't have to think about it, it's kind of hard to think about, right? So that's why it's important to talk about.
Think that
he skipped.
You froze, No Saint.
Even you know what else I think is sexual like assault. Women walking around with their panties on around their children. You know, even the way women dress, walking outside, that's sexual assault in a way. Because if men wish to walk around with leggings and stuff on, they dick print showing, or even on IG. I'm shocked that they allowed this on IG where women can have their camel toe, their panties, everything, dance with their titties almost out. If men wish to do that and have our like wiggling our things all on IG, that won't even go that far. The fact that women can walk around their children, their boys, panties on, they coochie print showing, their titties pop, nipples is popping out their shirts, being exposed, they booty all jiggling. That's
Let me,
like
let me, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Jay Prince. Do you
imagine
have
me walking around with my daughters like that?
no? Let me ask you a question. Do you have an Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. If I were to go to your Instagram right now and scroll the people you're following, are there any Instagram models there that bend over, twerk, show their tits or ass? Are there any at all?
Yeah, but I was just typing.
Okay.
I'm not really an Instagram type of person. I just be hitting
Okay.
sub and like,
Yeah, no,
just,
none of us are really Instagram type of people, right? That's what we all say. However, here's the thing: it's a double-edged sword because you can't complain about a thing and then contribute to that thing. I guarantee if I went to your followers list right now, there'd be nothing but bitches bent over, baby oil from head to toe, BBLs and bullet wound belly buttons.
should it still be legal though? Should it? I agree with you saying if you're going out there looking for that, but should it still be legal? Forget how many people we subscribe to, because if men wish to do that same thing, and I want you to talk about how women walk around their kids, because I'm raising 3 daughters. What if I walk around this piece with just my drawers on? Y'all see my 3 little girls in the back. Everybody gonna call the police, CPS, the Fed, the FBI, everything. But yet we don't see that's a problem when women can walk around here with her coochie print showing. A lot of times, because y'all say women can dress out the way they is and dress out the way they want. It's always when a time for correction for women. And this is the reason why we don't see no big thing with women doing it, because women never been held responsible, accountable, or never been seen as an issue with their behaviors. Never.
Well,
So when we got men like you talking about this, y'all don't see it.
Okay, well, no. Here we are. This stream is literally holding women accountable. Like literally, this is the panel that you're on right now. That is what I'm doing. And I do it often, right? A couple other women do it too, but no, it's not a common occurrence. I agree with you. It is not a common occurrence, but I am a person that does that, and I do it often. I always say protect your little boys the same way you protect your little girls. Now, as far as paranoia, the reason why I say that is because, like Lily said, men can overpower women, and men 99.9% of the time can commit a sexual assault successfully. Women can't unless they drug you or have you at gunpoint, right? It's rare. I think we can all admit that the numbers they're a little staggering on the side of men who sexually assault versus women who sexually assault and rob and things like that. That's why that is uneven. But I do want to pass the mic because I'm not going to be here all night, guys. Welcome, Beans. Welcome, Haran DeMarco. Good to see you, sir. Beans, what would you like to add?
I really wanted to do it. First of all, how you doing? And what's up, Jay Prince?
What's up, Beans?
I really wanted to do a thought experiment, right? Because I think at this point, I think we have to stop using tropes, right? And I'm specifically speaking to Black people. Like, we have to stop using tropes and we have to start correcting people when they use them, right? This idea that in the Black community specifically, that little boys are being pushed onto girls, I just want that to stop. It's not true, right? The same way how you want us to acknowledge that the percentage of women who could probably get away with overpowering men is very low, and we have to also acknowledge that the percentage of little boys who get pushed on girls is low, right? So let's do a thought experiment. At what age do you think these boys are being pushed onto girls? Would you say, Jen?
It depends on the community. I say in the communities that I don't know where you guys are from, but in the communities that I come from, it starts very, very early. Our kids are sexualized very, very early in our communities.
So that would be a Hispanic community, right?
Hispanic and Black. I come from a Hispanic and Black community my whole life.
So just so we won't have to get into semantics, when you say early, can you give me a number?
Elementary school.
Elementary school. Okay.
Elementary school.
At what age do you think kids are actually aware of what sex is?
Elementary school.
Elementary school.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
And
thing
even younger than that, we've seen, here's the thing. I'm not afraid of tropes or stereotypes, right? They exist for a reason, right? They
Right.
exist for like they can offend us. We may not like them. They make us feel uncomfortable. But if a majority of a thing is a thing, then it's a thing. But we could be offended. We could be like, hey, don't talk about us like that. We could be offended. But a thing is still a thing, right? Even if we're offended. We've gone online. We've seen 3-year-old little girls twerking. There's a video that went viral the other day. This little girl was about 3 or 4. And she got off and bent over and started to twerk, and her father came over and slapped her to the side.
So
Some of us have seen it, right?
that's proving them.
So it is. So it's very prevalent in our communities. Now, if you grow up in the suburbs, you know what I mean? Parents had a very good marriage. There's a gated community. The schools are great. No, I don't think that those kids are going to be introduced to sex as early as we do in the Black and brown communities.
So, Jay Prince, were you pushed on to girls?
Absolutely not. I've got my butt beat.
Mr.
Right. A lot
Spink,
of people will say
were
that,
you
but
pushed
then
on to girls?
but the conversations that are being held around these little boys, they're not even aware that they even holding these conversations around these little boys, or they're taking the little boys to the barbershop. These conversations are being held, or they're leaving them to go make some dinner, and these conversations are being held, or they're grabbing their parents' phone. These conversations
So wait, hold on.
on television.
So let me ask you this question: Which one do you think is more prevalent to a little boy? Conversations being had at a barbershop that they might not be aware of, or their mother rotating men in and out of the house?
Both are bad because they're being exposed to a lot of things that kids. And this is another thing. I think people
Absolutely,
think
but
kids
did you
are
hear the
stupid.
question that
But
I
hold on,
asked?
this is the thing. I think people think kids are dumb. Okay, kids retain stuff, right? They retain things, and then they act out on it later. They might not be able to put together and process what it is they're listening to at that particular time and age,
Mhm.
but it comes out.
Okay, so just a few seconds ago, when Jen was saying that we shouldn't be afraid of tropes, right? We all should be able to recognize that a lot of them are outdated, right? And that a lot of them are based on the minority of people, right? But here's the thing. The question that I asked you is, which one do you think is more impactful? Which one do you think would lead a child to being more sexualized? Conversations in a barbershop or his mother rotating men in and out of her house?
This is what's interesting. You didn't want to get into semantics, and all your points are semantics.
It's
Right.
absolutely
That's
not.
probably
I'm
just like-
asking direct questions, and
No,
instead of answering the direct questions,
You're literally veering us into semantics. Men and women. I said specifically, men and women both sexualize children early, consciously or subconsciously. The porn that's around. You could be standing with a little boy, a 5-year-old, a woman that passed by with a fat ass. Yo, short, yo. You sexualize children consciously and subconsciously. I didn't say that you literally take the boy. I didn't say that you literally take the 5-year-old and push him on a girl. However, the conversations, the way you view women, the way you speak about women, okay? And it's very prevalent in our communities. A woman with a fat ass is a commodity. It's a big fucking deal. Not learning how to do your taxes, not learning, about a mortgage. That woman with the fat ass is a huge focal point in our communities. Why are we acting like it's not?
Why are we saying like we don't know that?
Here's what happened. But no, we're not. Real quick, we're not. But here's what happened, right?
Okay.
So you said
I don't follow fat ass women. Do you have an Instagram, Beans?
absolutely.
What's
So
your Instagram?
Why? I can tell you right now that I follow a bunch of women.
Okay, well, thank you.
Right, so why are we playing like you know what I'm saying?
Hold on. So Miss YB, before you get excited, am I a child? Absolutely. So my son has an Instagram. You know what he doesn't do? He doesn't follow a whole bunch of big booty women.
Does he follow you?
Absolutely not. I hope not.
He doesn't follow you?
I hope not. I'm a content creator. I hope he not.
So it's to do as I say, not as I do.
But I don't put naked women on my Instagram either. My Instagram is for my YouTube channel, right? But the point I want to make is this: it's not semantics. I'm addressing one particular thing that you said, right? If we can be comfortable with tropes, then we should be comfortable with me addressing one particular point that you made, which was that little boys get pushed onto girls. Your exact words was, go get that thing. That men are telling little boys to go get that thing. So now that I'm addressing that.
But you've never seen a story on social media where a teacher molested children and the guys were in the comments saying, "Where was she when I was a kid?" You never seen that? You've never seen
And if
that?
not, we can go to one right now.
Absolutely. But just a few seconds ago, you told us that the cases of men who are able to overpower women are way more than the cases of women who are able to overpower men. You set the intellectual standard when you said that. By saying that means we don't get to use the minority to qualify the majority. So we can't do that. So just because that might be the case for a small portion does not mean we get to do that for all of them, right?
Okay,
My point is this.
the majority of sexual assault cases are men versus women. You do know that, right?
Absolutely.
Because men don't report theirs because they're not taught to report it.
So what do you mean exactly by? So Beans, what do you mean exactly by we can't use the minority to speak about the majority? The majority.
Right. What I'm saying is you just try. Okay.
No, I didn't try to do
you. I can respond. I understand you.
I have convictions. I don't try to do anything. Either I say it or I don't. I'm very black. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I said, so you saying we can't use the minority to cover the majority. I'm telling you the majority of sexual assaults are men versus women. That is a fact. That is not fiction.
Okay.
That is
Right.
not my
But what I'm saying is before you keep going, because you're misunderstanding me, you're building your foundation on something that's wrong. When I say that, what I'm saying is when you talk about a minority of cases of women sexually assaulting men and the men in the comments saying, man, why wasn't it like that when I was a kid? That's a minority. So there's no reason for us to use that right now. What you are saying is,
majority of comments. It's the majority.
Did I say that was a majority? Did I say that was a minority comments? Are you listening to understand? Or you just want to argue? I don't want to argue. I don't want to argue.
Hold on a second, because Haran does have to leave quickly. Haran, what do you have to say?
There's some great points being made right here. You know, sounds cool and so on and so forth. But however, at the end of the day, let's just keep it 100. Sexuality and sex itself, the concept of it, a woman is considered someone that should be sexually conquered, or a weaker man is someone who's considered someone who should be sexually conquered, especially even in the concept of rape. Since we're very comfortable with being in the double standard pool, in the trope pool, would you let a homosexual educator teach your male son? Also, since we're also in the double standard pool, what is the concept of homosexuality? People constantly talk about there's some sort of agenda where homosexuality is being used and promoted in the media to change the minds of heterosexual males. That is a trope that's constantly being used, and it's actually incorrect. It's actually very much incorrect. Now, I want to ask another question. If a man actually molested a younger man, does that younger man be guaranteed to come out as a homosexual? Because we're sitting here talking about men, you know what I mean, young boys actually only being attacked by girls, but there's also young men who are actually also being attacked by older men. Are we having that conversation as well? And are we getting deeper into the weeds with that kind of conversation? Or is that too uncomfortable?
It's gonna make them constantly look at men like, see, the reason why Jen want us to walk around in paranoia was she really saying what I was saying.
Are you prepared to answer that question?
Like criminals out the gate. We are potential criminals and sexual abusers out the gate.
Okay, so you're not talking about what I just asked. I just asked a question. Are any of the men willing to answer
what I was asking either? Y'all scared to address that because it might mean that you don't get to demonize men, which is apparently the position of the panel is to demonize men, right?
So
yeah. How many times does she have to say both sexes participate?
Absolutely, but we're not. But why be? We're not addressing the one point that I asked two different men on the panel. I'll ask the rest. Sam, were you pushed on to girls? Yes or no?
You are biased, and that's okay.
I'm not being biased. I'm addressing one thing.
You're biased, and that's okay. You're biased, and that's okay.
Okay.
The stream is literally are little boys in danger and neglected by default. Okay. The whole stream was about women molesting little boys. You're coming up here and you're making it the tropes in the Black community and women do this too. I already started it like that, but you're coming in biased and you're giving us semantics about how Black people get villainized and how it's we're already addressing that. So you have to take off the biased cap.
Right, which I didn't address any of that.
See, here's the problem.
Since you're biased, you don't hear it. We addressed
the point.
one's afraid.
Jen, here's what's crazy. You're mischaracterizing me, which I'm used to you doing by now. But here's what's crazy about that, right? I'm literally addressing men. I'm literally addressing men pushing boys. That's what I'm addressing.
And I said that they do that subconsciously
Right.
and consciously.
Are you a man though?
No, I'm not a man.
Okay, so if the majority of the men on the panel right now say that didn't happen to them, would you still hold on to that truth?
Nobody even asked me the question.
It's just you and him.
Nobody even asked me the question.
Absolutely. Let's scam. Were you pushed on to girls?
Wait. I didn't say anything yet. I didn't comment.
No, we know you're going to agree with Jen. We already know what you're going to do.
I come from a Jamaican household. I come from a Jamaican household. I come from a West Indian household. Yeah, to some degree, it is pushed on us.
When we get my
on you, or were you pushed on girls? Were you told go get those girls?
Time out. Hold on a minute, because we really don't have all night. We may have to do a part 2. Time out really quickly. You guys are stuck on semantics. You're stuck on the word push, right? So let's remove the word push. Let me finish my thought, and then I'll land the plane. I will land the plane because there's a lot of us here. You guys are hell-bent and riding the word push, right? Who gets pushed? Did you get pushed? I didn't get pushed. Did you get pushed?
No,
I didn't get pushed.
No. Let me speak.
Because
I know for damn sure you got that Puerto Rican flag behind you. For one, you got a New York hat. So I know you from New York. And I know you know about Carnival. So stop with the you like
Trinidad. If you don't see it,
Trinidad. Okay, get the fuck out of here. So, okay, this is what we're talking about, because we can have a strong argument. We really, really can. I love a good debate. The word push seems to be a thorn in your side. Okay, let's take the word push out. Little boys in our communities are sexualized early. Okay, by default, it is the way you address women's bodies. It is the music you listen to. It is the movies you watch. It's the porn you leave laying around. It's the people that you follow on your social media. Little boys are watching, and if they're watching an adult who they automatically look up to, well, he following everybody, following, bringing his boots, and he's clicking like on all the fat ass bitches. Boys just follow because they want to emulate adult males.
Can I ask you a question?
How about influence?
Can I ask you a question, Jen?
Better.
May I ask you a question?
Because I want you to accept the word so we can get through this debate.
I accept it.
Better. Is influence better?
Okay, yeah, I accept that. Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
When you talk about these communities, black communities, right?
I said
primarily
black and brown.
Black and brown communities, right? Well, for the black communities, I don't know about the brown communities. For the black community, the black communities primarily was raised around mothers, right? So mothers also come on this piece talking about men wasn't around. So hold on once. On one breath, y'all want to go off this men wasn't around. So if men wasn't around, you can't all of a sudden bring them around to prove a point. So if men wasn't around, those women wasn't around. And a lot of times women would teach their boys, sexualize their boys because they didn't know how to raise a boy to a man. So a lot of times these women, whatever they thought was a man was in their mind was to be sexual, to get all the girls. And it typically would be the men who they like to choose. But they taught us to that's why they always say they raise their daughters and collar their boys, where our mothers and aunties and them taught us how to live up on a woman's house, get this from a woman. You a fine man, these women gonna take care of you. I'm gonna buy my son, keep my son in the newest Jordans to look good and to get all of the girls. Not like we just admitted. All her friends say, boy, your son gonna have all them women. He got a big dick, baby girl. He ain't number 4 years old. I wonder what his daddy looking like.
Okay, so I agree. I agree with what you said, but I don't want to get redundant. Fighter Complex, I know you want to say something. You could jump in.
What's going on, yo?
What's
now, I have disagree with these guys that being dishonest. I
know they are.
And the reason why is because, an example, recently there was this teacher that was in high school. She's in her mid to late 20s, attractive, and I guess she was sleeping with a kid who was 17, 18. And let's say if I sent that clip to a few of my friends, And when I sent that clip to a few of my friends, they thought the same thing I thought. Damn, where were these teachers when I was in high school giving up the box? Where were these teachers?
Girls that wanted older drug dealers or older men did.
That is always the first. That is always the first response. Always. But they want to play dumb.
And we all look at it like
older men.
And
that's a fact. So when y'all saying these grown men was molesting these young girls was bragging, and they would tell you, I don't date boys my age. They too immature. I want me a grown ass nigga.
Okay, well, hey Prince, let me ask you a question. You said these girls are dating drug dealers, right?
Or older men who pull up to the schools in cars and stuff.
Wait a minute, Wusa. Where are the drug dealers? In our neighborhoods, right?
Right.
Okay, so going back to what I said, in our neighborhoods, kids are sexualized early, boys and girls. Can we agree on today that women and men in our communities sexualize children early? Women and men.
I would agree. If we're going to say women and men.
I've been saying that for the past 52 minutes. Women.
The reason why we do this.
The men part get highlighted, but like he kept highlighting that boys wanted.
No. The reason why the reason why
in high school wanted those older men. They still want older men.
Calm down. The reason why we're doing this stream today is because the molestation of young girls is always highlighted, but the boys are not as protected. So we are doing a stream.
The topic was our little boys in danger and neglected by default. I don't know how we got to start talking about little girls. We came on here because the title say our little boys in danger and neglected by default. And based on this conversation, we can understand why they are neglected.
You brought up little girls and the women walking around in panties and the single mama homes and all of that.
And you still haven't addressed that because that's another part of being little boys being neglected. Because if my mama walking past me naked.
Hold on a minute. You and I disagreed a couple seconds ago that women and men are at fault for sexualizing our children early, specifically in the neighborhoods that we come. We just agreed on that, Jay. We just agreed on.
Yeah, but
hold on. So, Jay, let me ask you a question.
We come from homes, single mother homes. We didn't come from father homes or mother and father. In the communities that we talking about single mothers.
We're back to blaming women. We're back. I thought we were here, Jay.
We are. What I'm saying, you never addressed I wanted to hear your thoughts on this, Jen. How do you feel about when women walking around their sons or daughters, but we talking about boys, walking around their boys with no clothes or nesting, no clothes on in front of them. Already, they starting the sexual content from their mamas.
So here's you're asking my opinion. Are you going to accept my answer?
I can't do nothing else but accept it. Can I continue? It don't make sense.
So here's the thing. Nudity by itself, just nudity by itself is not sexualization. Okay, nudity by itself is not sexualization. A child can watch their naked parent walk around, daddy or mommy. That is not sexualization. Okay,
let me get started then.
Well, go ahead, get started. However, you already the type, Jay, that a big ass turns you on. So I wouldn't recommend you do it because you're already coming from a different mentality. However, nudity by itself is not sexualization. However, if that mother in front of her son, okay, Sexy Red comes on, she's like, and she starts twerking and bending over and acting sexually, then she's sexualizing her body in front of that child. Okay, but nudity by itself is not sexualization. That's something y'all got to get through your head. Y'all think the more naked a woman is, the more sexual it is.
What you saying, Jen? So are you telling me, Jen? Are you telling me? Hold on, Beans. Are you telling me that as long as I ain't making sexualize myself, I could walk past my little girls with my diggling butt ass naked?
Yes,
and there's no problem. That's what you telling me.
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight.
This is why you can go into a museum and that's why you can be in museums all day long. because it's not sexualized. We're raised to sexualize human bodies. We're raised to sexualize all human bodies. Right? That's why you go, if you're cultured enough, you go into museums and see nude bodies as they are as art, right? But when there's a difference between a nude body as art and a sexualized body. There's a difference. I mean, even in the mainstream.
Let me ask Jen a question. Jen, would you agree that parents are?
How come you can't have nude on social media? Then how come they block it out if it was okay?
Hold on 1 second, Beans. I'm gonna get to your question, but hold on a second. There are tribes all over the world, and when I say tribe, I don't mean just in Africa. I don't mean Africa. There are tribes all over the world where these motherfuckers walk around naked all fucking day long. The men, the women, the children, all fucking day long.
They also tribes that mess with girls too.
No one is sexualized. That is just.
But it's also tribes that mess with girls. It's legitimate to mess with girls.
The price of tea in China is also more expensive than My point is, nudity by itself is not sexualization. What part of that don't you understand?
It's a
why, if that wasn't the case, why do we get blocked out on social media and TV?
Hold on a second. Don't hijack the panel because we got too many people up here. Copa hasn't even spoken. Fighter Complex wants to say something else. Beans, I'll circle back to you.
My bad.
I want to shake the room. Can I shake the room real quick?
Go ahead.
It's funny how Jay Prince is so overzealous about this type of conversation. When I have a recording where he protected his relative who was charged and convicted of rape.
See, and now we took a long way, but I'm gonna be again.
You want me to play it?
No, Jen, can I respond to that? He put out a serious allegation. Jen, can I respond to that?
I have the recording right here.
Hold on once. I ain't finna let you. Hold on, let me respond to that because you put out a strong allegation out there. So can I please respond to that?
You'll do it against other people against this space. In this space.
Can I do it? Can I respond to that, Jen, to clarify?
Let me hold on. Okay.
Just let this dude just put my name out there like that.
Milwaukee versus New York. Let's see who wins. Let's go.
Okay, wait a minute. You have a right to respond. Commercial break. Take a breather. Thank you for the super chat, Haran DeMarco. Haran DeMarco says the problem in these conversations often morph into victim Olympics. The topic is the safety of children, particularly boys, and goalposts are being moved. It's being moved by men on the panel. Thank you for that point. Go ahead, defend yourself, Jay Prince. Jesus.
Okay. On my channel, I got one rule. We barely got rules on my channel, right? One rule is you don't talk about people's family members. You would get banned and kicked off for talking about people's family members. But I did bring up something when we was having a conversation, right, with one of my co-hosts. And we got on this topic and I said, well, I knew somebody that was close, and she brought it out of me. I said, well, I had a family member who done this. But I didn't protect the actual crime, what he did. The man went to prison. I don't have to tell people what we don't do with our family members. So I didn't protect them in that way. I didn't protect the crime. What I did was, if you're not gonna be sitting on this piece talking about your mama, your fucked up family, you ain't finna come up here and talk about my family, and I would do it again. I'm not finna be sitting up here conversating with this Mark about what my family done did. No, I don't owe you no explanation. I don't owe nobody no explanation. And until we all, because we all got some fucked up people in our family who have did some messed up shit. Until y'all be sitting up there dropping names of y'all family members who have done some bull crap, I'm not going to sit up here and talk about mine with nobody. I don't owe nobody to talk to them about what my family did and how we handled the situation. You do not know what we did and how we handled that situation, because I feel as though I don't owe you that explanation. And I'm not finna talk about my peoples. I don't give a care what video you got. Fuck your video. Your video don't mean shit. And again, I'm gonna repeat it on here. I'm not finna talk about my people with your mark ass. Period. I don't give a fuck what they done did. Talk about your mammy first.
Okay. Scam Likely, would you like to say anything before we pass the mic back to Fighter Complex?
No, I came late, so I came. It was about pervin boys and Sexualizing.
No, I ain't gonna take the bait.
What was the original question before I say something all the way
Are
out?
little boys in danger and neglected by default? I started the conversation with teachers, specifically white teachers, who molest and go get away with it with a slap on the wrist. And then we got joined by Jay Prince and Beans, and it became a black woman are evil thing. And it became
black woman thing. Go ahead.
all charges.
You can always depend for that to happen.
So really quickly, before we move on, this was the subject tonight, and then we could chime in and wrap a fighter complex. You a fucking mess. So this was the topic tonight. Okay, Tampa woman pretended to be 14 years old to molest middle schoolers. Okay, Tampa woman pretended to be 14 years old to molest middle schoolers. The story is, authorities say a Florida woman posed as a 14-year-old homeschooled child to prey on middle schoolers for sex. Alyssa Ann Zinger, 22, is accused of engaging in at least 30 sexual acts with at least one student and sending explicit videos and several more. She was arrested last week. It is disturbing and unsettling to see an adult take advantage of a child and prey on them. Tampa Police Chief Lee Burkhaw said in a statement, anyone who may have been a victim of Zingers, we encourage you to come forward. The Tampa Police Department will support you and ensure a predator like Zinger doesn't cause you or others additional harm. Zinger allegedly created a fake persona and communicated with her victims on social media platforms. The Tampa Bay Times reported multiple victims who attended Wilson Middle School in Tampa's Hyde Park neighborhood told authorities they thought Zinger was their age but was homeschooled. So basically, that was the topic for tonight, to look out for your little boys, because you concentrate on looking out for little girls, and little boys are getting molested all the time. I know some adult males that admitted they were molested. I spoke to a friend the other day. He said he was 13 when a 21-year-old woman was having sexual relations with him, and he insisted that he wasn't being sexually molested, that she taught him up in the areas of sex. Fighter Complex, you wanted to say something?
I was going to respond. Now that I get the context.
I'll let the evidence speak for itself, Your Honor.
But y'all go ahead and continue dusting. Y'all got to dust.
Yeah, let it speak.
Go ahead and dust off.
Scam, we know you're the cleanest person on earth, right? You have no flaw. You have no flaws, sir.
No, I'm guilty. I'm a dusty.
All right, then let's get to it, brother. Because you ain't shit, just like everybody else. All right, let's get it.
Mafioso.
And sexually assaulting their children every damn day. If you ain't gonna be fair on both ends, well, we need those sexual assault and great out the window there. Because women are the biggest complainers of sexual assault, right? They so-called live in this fear of being sexual assault and all this other type of stuff. So women uses being a victim as leverage to manipulate a situation to gain what they want wherever they're trying to get. A lot of times they can manipulate that victim stuff, manipulates them out of trouble. They're gonna give women a pass, they need to give R. Kelly that pass. They're gonna give women a pass, they need to give R. Kelly that pass. Hey, 90% of women is sexual assaulters.
Can we pause it right quick? Pause it right quick. He took
Exhibit 8 always shows up.
No, hold on. He took somebody, because it's full context on everything I was saying, right? So somebody that's I've been going to war with, I ain't gonna mention his name unless he come on here. We've been going to war with. So what he did was he took clips of everything he took, like stuff that stood out and kind of like added together in that specific video that he is producing. He's not producing the full conversation that I actually had, because if he would have produced the full conversation, it would have made way more sense than somebody clipping little pieces, adding together to make something look bad. We already debunked it when the original person made that specific clip, made that specific video. We already debunked that, in that person. And in that person who made that video, when he got debunked, he's trying to hurry up and throw it away because
Sir, you do the damage control after. You do it after the evidence is presented in the court, sir. You don't do it during, sir. You don't do that, sir. You do damage control after the fact.
Clips and use it as facts. People can clip up. Jen, I can clip up. You can make this video right now. What you saying? I can take off some stuff right now and clip you up and make you look completely horrible.
Sir, when they play,
we got a lot of clips going around doing that.
They have to do highlights, sir. We have to do the highlights. We have to do highlights. This is not. It's not even done. It's not even 40. It's 40 seconds in, and you're already like triggered. There's 2 minutes left.
I'm not triggered. I'm just saying, Jen, it's proper context.
Then be a gentleman, sir. If you're innocent, relax.
Right now on Jen and
if
Lily
you didn't do nothing wrong, there's nothing you should be worried about. You know you done fucked up, right?
You done fucked up, right? Exactly what I said, and not clips.
Let's get it.
Somebody made to make me look bad.
Yo, all right. So are you gonna mute? Okay. Are you done, sir? Let's continue playing the video.
I believe the only reason why it's underreported is because it depends on whether you find a man attractive or not. I've been trying to make these women to be these plum victims, and they are not. And when I told you this victim shit, they leverage and be fighting their daughters. When their daughters start growing up and filling out, hey JP, they be jealous of their daughters, especially their daddy, of the men is going to give them attention. That's why they automatically try to say, we don't trust these niggas who got the bill. No, you trying to leverage sexual assault because you jealous of your daughters. Because now you're 20 them filled out, and you know old men like young girls, whatever the case.
Don't even match.
Whatever the case. For old men to have young girls, it got to be young girls want those old men. Now that's because he ended up having a baby by her when she was 12. He was a stepdaddy. And he ended up getting her pregnant at 12, so he ended up doing 15. He released now. And you know this man? I know him very well. And I know like the fuck you want to take it. You gotta be like a motherfucker. Y'all know the fuck this whole ass shit be going on. Now you want to play victim like you a stupid. Y'all know exactly what the fuck be going on. Well, since the motherfucker want to play this bitch ass here, it's family.
Talking about accountability start with your fucking family members who impregnated with your girl.
This shit is just not just one family here and there. Well, I know bitch ass shit to save a black bitch.
No, you trying to save
black bitches.
Okay, and what about
you know damn well these black bitches is just as fucked up ass. Let's talk about the women that get pregnant by 12 years old.
What?
Let's talk about the bitches that get pregnant.
Also, if you call them the women black bitches, what do you call your family member who impregnated a 12-year-old girl?
Oh my damn, I'm grave. We ain't gonna do that.
Okay, but you said it was your family member. So
no, we ain't talking about my people. Stop bringing on my people. No, stop bringing on my people.
You brought it
because you better try to fish that bitch ass shit out.
Anything
don't bring on my motherfucking family no more, man.
You brought up your motherfucking family.
Nah, I don't have to talk about my people.
Talk about your family. Don't talk about ours, motherfucker.
You talking about your family, motherfucker. So what the fuck are you talking about? You brought the shit up.
Everybody else's family. We ain't gonna talk about mine. Oh my damn, I'm
going your family.
All these ragged ass hoes.
Those women.
I don't gotta answer the shit when it comes to my people. If we want to do this to you, boy, be judged because we want that woman to have to do that shit to us. We was taught that if we want to do this to you, boy, be judged because we want that woman to have to do that shit to us.
Oh, hold on. Wasn't that our boy? Or that right? Did we take the long way to get here? This shit happens. This shit happens every single.
What you heard was a lot of clips that a lot of chunk of the meat was taken out. That's what I'm saying. He played.
Can I do the mic drop? Can I do the mic drop? Can I do the mic drop?
Let's go ahead and mic drop now, Tyler. Listen,
how that's a mic drop and it's not full context?
You all fail to realize that we get these same.
Jen, I love you, baby.
JB. YB, let's go with that. I want to show you something, YB.
Or we just gonna play fake stuff to make somebody look bad.
You see that, YB?
How come we can't be for real?
This just came to my phone right now. Can I get you to be honest with me, YB? When you see that, what's your original thought? Please be honest. What's your original thought? Who do you think did it? You think it was a man or a woman? Let's just be honest.
I don't even go there. I just go there. A child is missing.
Okay, let me ask Jen. Jen, maybe Jen, to be honest. When you see that, Jen, what's your initial thought?
My initial
thought, a man or a woman?
Are you going to accept the answer?
Absolutely.
Right, I don't think you. Yeah.
My initial thought is get this baby, share that. That's
right,
my.
I'm asking you a specific question. Your initial thought on who
here's the thing. You don't accept answers, and I can't help you with that.
You're not answering my question. I'm asking you who committed it.
Your question. You're not accepting the answer. Your question was, What is your initial thought?
On who committed it?
No.
On who committed it?
I don't think about that.
I don't even go there. That's what I said to you.
You asked me my initial thought. My initial thought is share it and get that baby back.
Yeah.
That's my initial thought. Now you want it to be something else to prove
No,
your
I'm asking you the simple question that I asked you. You're not answering it. But
No,
that's
But
okay.
she both answered them. I said I don't go there. My first thought is the child. She said something similar, but you don't want to accept it.
Yes, because I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you, who do you think committed the act?
I said I don't.
Woman?
I don't. I don't.
we just answered it.
Get the baby home. I don't give a fuck if it's a chia patch. Get the baby home. I don't give a damn if it's shark. Get the baby home.
I'm used to this. I'm used to this by now. I get it. I'm used to this.
Hey,
by
man,
now.
can I ask Lily a question right quick? Lily.
Before you do, Jay, before you do, Scam Likely, do you have something to say? Because we can't be here all night. I got somewhere to be.
This actually, I like your panel, James. It's pretty smooth.
I'll pass. I'll jump in later. Y'all continue with the
It's kind of
dust.
fun to hang
I got a cool sector over here.
Scam's gonna pass. Scam's gonna
Y'all
pass.
continue, Dustin. I'll
Real,
jump in later.
like, but it's like it's
Ask me
where's
a
the
question now.
honesty at though, right? It's what I want to ask Jen earlier. YB was if do you think parents are violent, right? We always say yes. If I said Puerto Rican mothers are the most violent parents there are, what would you say?
What do you think? Tell him what I would say, Lily. What I would say.
You probably say yeah.
You're asking the right person because what I
See,
would say.
we don't care about stereotypes over here. See, this is the thing. Stereotypes come from a level of truth.
Right.
Here's the
But see, that's
thing.
what I'm saying, YB. I think the truth
I'm
matters.
about to teach for a minute. I'm about to teach for a minute, right? Some of you are
Because
gonna
people say stereotypes about like the queer community, the black. If it's true, it's true. It's just funny. When it's funny, it's funny.
Absolutely, but that's
You know
what I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying?
To me, the truth matters. That's what I do on my platform. I
But
want the truth.
no, but
When somebody come
but
over there and they say something that's not true, I'm going to correct them.
Stereotypes are true. It's just this. Look, I haven't used this in a while, but I'll dust it off for y'all, okay? Because this is gonna make y'all feel more comfortable. Okay, stereotypes are true, but does that make you feel
always exceptions to the rule.
Absolutely not.
Truth to stereotypes? If you said Puerto Rican women are the most violent, I would say, well, fuck, all the ones I know are violent. Okay. Not only would I say that, I would also
said mothers.
Mothers, women in general.
Their mothers are single, right?
Puerto Rican women before their mothers are violent. Okay,
Absolutely.
before they're even mothers are violent. Now, here's
Absolutely.
the thing, right? I could do this, right, to make other Puerto Rican people feel better. Not some, not all of us, right? To make people feel comfortable. I'm not afraid of stereotypes. And what I would also say to you is what I've said here years on this panel. I'm not going to take your experience from you, Beans. If your experience with Puerto Rican women was violence, I'm not going to take that experience from you. That is your fucking experience. I'm not going to sit up here and fight. No, it's a trope. No, it's a stereotype. No.
I get it.
Your experience.
So here's the thing.
And I'm nobody to take your experience from you.
I understand that.
Between
I
me and
understand
you.
that. But this what you did. And then nobody's going to admit this because I'm realizing where the standard is on the panel now. When you made us admit to the fact that more men commit assault than women, you set a standard. That means you should prefer the truth across the board, right? If we know that it's true, then we should be able to acknowledge it.
This is weird.
That was the standard that you set when you said that.
What do you mean I made you admit to a fact? Whether you admit it or not, it is
Out
a fact.
loud. Exactly. You're right now arguing for facts. So why does everything else get to be some and not all? Why can't we be honest about everything? Why do we have to cherry pick what we're going to be factual about?
What?
What? Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. When I was questioning you, I was specifically questioning you about men pushing men on little boys. The reason why is because that's not factual, which is why I wanted to address it. Right?
Agreed. Influence. I took away the word push because it's a thorn in your side. I said influence. Men influence little boys to be sexual, specifically in our communities. That's why y'all are following act models. You are. Y'all are the problem you speak of. That is why your followers is full with models. You are the
Absolutely.
motherfuckers you speak of. What are you talking
So
about?
here's the thing then. How
And
do
then
you
your and then
explain?
your children emulate
So
you.
here's the
Like,
question,
that's
Jen. So here's the question. If that's the case, how do you explain my son who doesn't follow any of them?
Right now, your son knows exactly how you feel about women. Stop the cap. I'm telling
Absolutely,
you.
which is exactly why he's a fucking hopeless romantic, just like his father.
Okay.
So
All
are
right.
y'all the
That's
are
exactly
y'all
why
the-
he's a
the
hopeless
women
romantic,
that
just
we
like his
follow?
father.
Yeah. That's why
Are
you
y'all
follow
the women that we follow?
romantic.
What does that have to do with how I act in my relationships?
You sexualize women, and your son will sexualize women.
Women
as well.
sexualize themselves, and I
Sexualize
watch them do
themselves.
it.
Sexualize women.
Women sexualize themselves, and I watch them do it. Let me see if YB could be honest. Women sexualize themselves,
I'm
and I
not
watch
fucking
them
honest.
do
I'm
it.
a fucking
Women
hypocrite.
rule you then. Women rule you then, right?
It's my Instagram. How do they rule me?
They rule you.
I pick and choose who I want to follow
We supposed to be attracted to women.
When a woman takes her ass out.
because I like ass.
What? Thank you.
It's the same reason why I follow Elon Musk, because I like technology. It's the same reason why I follow Eddie Murphy, because I like comedy. What are you talking about?
The problems you have in the
Jen,
community.
do you walk around with sexually exploited?
Ass
Jen,
rule
do you walk
I
around with
can't
your
hear what
breasts
she's
out?
saying, Jay Prince.
And ass will rule your son, because that is what you are passing down. Ass rules you.
How? He's 18 and he's not affected by it at all.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
He
He's
just
not
started life
affected
2
by it
days
at all.
ago. Shit. He just started life 2 days ago.
Well, Jen, do
So
you
he
teach
didn't start out
Really?
today.
Is that what we're doing? Because I could have sworn the argument was
Jen,
that
do
they
you teach your
sexualized as
girls in your
children.
community to
Now
be
we
those
saying that he
Instagram
ain't old
models?
enough.
Jen, do you teach your
Hey,
do you
it's the
teach little
intellectual
girls in your
standard.
community to
Put
be
the pill
those
down here.
Instagram models? Because you saying that there's people following them. So are you teaching little girls to walk around sexually exploiting themselves like that? Do you teach them that?
Jay, to answer your question, women, the ass models, yes, Jay, they are influencing the younger women, just like y'all are influencing men to every time you see an ass model, yo, shorty could get it. It's the same thing on both sides. What part of that are y'all not grasping?
Because you're pretending like that's what men do with their sons.
You, Jen. What we
That's
not hearing from
bullshit.
you.
I don't give
coming
a
at
fuck
the
what
men
this
for
other nigga
watching
gonna
it,
come
but
up
you're
here
not
and
coming
say,
at the
because he's a
women for
liar.
putting it out there.
One mic. What did you say, Jay?
Jen, what we not hearing from you, that you coming at the men for watching it, but not coming at the women that's bringing the product. So we don't hear you giving out those Instagram models.
Just did, Jay Prince. Jay Prince, she just did. Jay Prince, she just did.
Let me tell you about business. There's a thing called
There's nothing wrong
no. There's a thing in business called supply and demand. They're only supplying what's being demanded. People, listen. I don't give a damn if it's a damn prostitute with one shoe on and one shoe off. If you see her ass out on that corner every day, somebody picking her ass up. People are not going to do anything without an incentive. So
let me ask this
I
before
didn't expect you to be this naive.
Let me ask this question before I pass the mic to Ron and we get the fuck up out of here.
Can I finally ask Lydia a question too afterwards? Can I finally, whatever time?
So here's the thing. Supply and demand is real. If all them Instagram models, okay, pulled their asses out and none of you showed up, well, specifically you, Jay and Beans, if y'all didn't show up, okay, would they keep doing it?
Absolutely.
Because why?
Okay.
Watch this. Jay Prince. Let me show you how this goes. Watch this. I want you to look at YB, Jay Prince.
No. Ask why. If you
I'm about to answer the question. I'll do it when you let me talk.
Do it. Let's see if you could do it.
Jay Prince, watch this.
Models,
the women are advertising to who, YB?
Supply and demand. They're
You see, Jay Prince, this is why every panel ain't worth it. Because there's some people who gonna be honest, and then there's people who gonna play games like this.
They right. So
who are they advertising to, YB?
You.
Let's go.
I'm like, this is so dumb. I'm like, I don't know.
That shit is crazy. You a black woman. You need to stop this shit. Dumbing yourself down for your friend.
Advertising to you. You know why they're advertising to you? Because they know you a sucker ass.
We don't buy none of that shit that they advertising.
You are buying.
We don't buy any of it.
Yes,
y'all buy it. Y'all buy that shit.
They have.
Wait. You mean men go to porn?
What you just said is very dangerous.
Wait, Jay Prince, hold on, listen. I want you to listen to the idiocracy coming from this man down here. We was literally just talking about Instagram, Jay Prince. Watch what he's saying. Listen to him. Go ahead, fam.
Are you saying that men don't buy porn? Is that what you
see what I'm saying, Jay Prince? You gotta be careful. Every fucking panel ain't worth it. Some panels are gonna have an intellectual standard and some not. He heard us talking about Instagram, and in order to facilitate the point, he brought up pornography.
Yo,
so
Jay, this dude right here, I remember him. He was on E Black's channel. He was selling his porn page. I remember this nigga. So
you brought up pornography while we talking about Instagram. This how you know he a liar, Jay Prince. Have I ever been on E Black's page?
No.
Me and E Black don't even like each other. I ain't never been on his page. See how you lying? See, this is what niggas will do. They will go all the way out. They will create a lie in order to not be honest.
Jen's trying to say something to us.
I'm not gonna have an idiotic conversation.
Anyway.
Hey, Jen, I got a question for you because what you're saying is dangerous, right?
I just have to say a few things. God damn it. You motherfuckers been talking all night, man. Come on, man. Just give me a second, a moment. Okay, this could have been an amazing conversation, but it transformed into a fucking gender war. Ironically, it was a conversation and a topic based on the safety of children, particularly young boys. You dudes be crying every fucking 5 minutes talking about ain't no topics, talking about, male-centered topics, talking about, the safety of men, so on and so forth. This was created. All of a sudden, it became this concept by, pitting black women specifically against black men. I don't know how that should even happen, man. We was initially talking about teachers putting their hands in little boys' pants. You know what I mean? All of a sudden,
I started with white teachers. He correct them. You were black teachers too.
Now, to be clear, I have always said this. That female predators do not get the same amount of weight that male predators get. I've said this years ago, and nobody wanted to address this. This could have been an opportunity to really address that these are women, white women are in these schools, and they are fucking people's kids, man.
They don't care.
We could have had this conversation right now. But nobody
We got
this dude over here defending his family member for raping some fucking body. You know what I'm saying? And we got other dude over here deflecting like a motherfucker.
Right.
See, here's the thing. It's always deflecting when somebody doesn't feed your narrative. We can have a larger discussion, and larger discussions require uncomfortable truths, things that we have to face our own hypocrisies, our own biases, but people don't want to face their own biases. People always want to face their own concept of the truth. And that's
so you didn't hear no bias from the women.
So I'll say this and say that because I got to get back to work. Thanks a lot. This could have been great, but it went to fucking shit. Thanks in part to niggas, because niggas fuck up everything.
All the time. All the time. Black folks are raised.
Hey, Jen, the question I was going to ask you, I really, that Heron dude, man, it's always those niggas that throw us on the bus. But Jen, the reason what you saying is dangerous, right? Because you saying supply and demand, right? So basically, the women is giving us the supply, and we are the buyers, right? So according to what you saying, and all the little punks that agreeing with you, what you saying is okay. It's okay for me to sell dope, fentanyl, heroin, all this other shit. The motherfuckers should be getting charged with is the buyers and not the sellers. That's what you is saying.
Okay, let's not be redundant. Like, you repeat your point.
Exactly what you're saying.
Let me tell you what I'm saying.
We should charge the users instead of the buyers.
Okay, I'm gonna mute your mic because you don't understand what redundancy is. I got your point the first time. I'm pretty sharp. I got your point the first time. What I'm saying is let's do the dealers and the buyers. Supply and demand. They both fuck up the community. And I know that's hard for you to hear because you don't like hearing that both two parties can be responsible. You don't like hearing that. Okay? The buyer and the seller both work. They are a symbiotic relationship and they fuck up the community. I am telling you, Women that sexualize their own bodies. And you motherfuckers that act like you never seen a BBL before, y'all are a symbiotic relationship. One cannot survive with the other. I'll say it again. One cannot survive with the other. Your parents should have taught you this. This is 1 + 1 = 2. This is basic math. Retards, monkeys can put one orange together, and if they put another orange together, the monkey will know he'll have 2 oranges in his hands. If them BBL bitches, okay, didn't have y'all up their ass, they'd have no customers. You are the problem that you speak of. You two specifically. You are the problem that you speak of. If they had nobody to bend over for, they would not bend over. Now, this fool's talking about, I don't pay, though. I don't pay. I watch it for free. I don't pay. Well, guess what? Now, let me give you social media 101. You don't have to pay for shit, idiot. The more they have, the more ad space they can have. So Miss BBL can go to a tummy tea company and say, hey, I got 1 million followers, and this motherfucker's in the follows. Therefore, the tea company can give her money to say, I do flat tummy tea because he and you are in the followers. I will drop my mic after that. If you want to continue, let me know on the block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to continue tomorrow, on the block with Jen Cash App. If you want to support the show, mama gotta go because I gotta get to the gym. Good night, and I'm out. Thank you, everyone who came up tonight. I welcome your opinions, even if they are fucking ridiculous. Good night.
Joe Dillon for life.
Lord. Woo, these guys.
Joe Dillon for life.
Incorrigible. Incorrigible these men are. All right, guys. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. Catch up on the block with Jen. Help mama keep the street lights on. We will see you tomorrow. Good night. Be good and can't be good. Be careful. Again, I will end by saying, watch out for your little boys. Watch out for your little boys with the same fervor that you watch out for your little girls. That's all. That's why I started this stream. Good night, guys, and I'm out. Lord.